Hello guys and gals, and this is the Discovery of Dragons, new research revealed by Graeme, a.k.a. Rowland W. Greasebeam, BSc. This is part 3, so we'll be reading chapter 3 of the book. It says it includes North American dragons, but we haven't gotten that far yet. I think that we're getting pretty close, though. This is copyright 2007, I believe, and this is the 11th anniversary, so it has the addition of North American dragons. I really love the picture there of the dragon right there. Yeah. We've already read the discovery of European dragons, discovery of Asiatic dragons, and this time we will be reading about the discovery of tropical dragons. Then in the next episode, we will be reading Discovery of New World Dragons, and depending on how long the publisher's notes are, we might give an extra episode to the publisher's notes. Oh, or not. It's just this page right here. So yeah, we'll just this is going to be four chapters long, probably. It depends on how long it takes to read these. Okay, we are to the discovery of tropical dragons. The letters of Dr. E.F. Lieberman. By far, the most diverse of the three general classes of dragon is that of the tropical dragon. Comprising Draaks, beasties, and wyverns, as well as true dragons. The group includes specimens covered in snake-like scales, others with coats of thick, luxuriant fur. A fur dragon. A group that have tough, leathery plates on their backs, and some that make do with nothing more than a sparse crop of feathers. In many cases, 3 or more different body coverings can be found on a single beast. Wow. Nowhere else in nature does such bizarre diversity exist, except perhaps in the warped mind of that pathetic troublemaker, Fibblewitz. Now he's claiming that I made up all those letters myself. For goodness sakes, man, why don't you go and do something useful, like invent a theory of relativity or something? I am producing quality work here. Look at this paper, for instance, beautiful mock parchment and full-colored picture and full-color pictures. None of those drab brown diagrams that you seem to think are so impressive and scientific looking. Nobody's fooled by that, you know. They want color and big headings and snappy dialogue sprinkled with amusing anecdotes. Get with it, Marty. The world is leaving you behind. Deep in the jungles of Africa, Dr. E.F. Lieberman, a 19th century cartographer and amphibiologist, is writing to his fiancée, Miss Prunella Habsburger and Fries, who anxiously awaits her beloved's long-delayed return to Munich. Lieberman has been hacking his way eastward for many months, attempting to prove that Africa, Madagascar, and Tasmania were all once part of a huge primeval southern continent. His hopes of success depend on proving that a rare species of amphibian, the African frilled frog, is closely related to another as yet undiscovered frog that Lieberman hopes to find in the remote rainforests of southwestern Tasmania. Lieberman's frog theory is doomed to failure, but his journeying brings him inexorably closer and closer to first contact with some of the most dangerous creatures that have ever lived. Will Lieberman succeed and return triumphant to Munich and his beloved Prunella? Or will he be rendered suddenly limbless by a nameless monster and left to a lonely fate in the wilds of darkest Africa? Read on. See, Fibblewitz, that's the way to present a theory to the public. Reel him in with a bit of mystery and romance. Never fails. Okay, let's get started with this. First one we have is, this looks like a rooster. That's kind of cool. Okay, it says here. Northeast of Bandundu, Africa, 19th of August, 1847. My dearest Prunella, many months have passed since I last had the opportunity to write, but you have been in my thoughts constantly. Um, Sh- Schneider has succumbed to jungle madness and must return to Rwanda. I sent this letter with him in the hope that he may come across a post box perchance somewhere along the way. Since leaving Bandunda and the going has been agonizingly slow. The jungle almost impenetrable and leeches thick on the ground. The illness comes and goes. Sometimes I feel quite myself. Then suddenly my thoughts confused are becoming are become watermelon. Oh, my thoughts confused are become watermelon, small porcupines in the bathtub. Klossman says there is nothing wrong with me, but I am not convinced. We've not had much luck as far as frog tagging goes. However, an extraordinary thing happened a few days ago, which has left me shaken, but also tremendously excited. We were hacking through a particularly thick tract of jungle, having heard the mating call of the African frilled frog, when the air was rent by a terrible shriek. I thought it was Gruber's constipation again, but suddenly the foliage parted, and a massive beast leapt from the bushes and disappeared, crashing through the treetops. I caught only a brief glimpse of it. However, I did make a sketch of the creature as best I could. I'm going to try and get a close-up of this. I see. Okay, that's fascinating. Gruber is much better now anyways, which is good. I have sent a report to the Geographical Society in London asking them to forward it to that young Darwin fellow. I'm certain he will be most interested. Quite frankly, my dearest, I think we have discovered a totally new species of animal here. I hesitate to say it, but the word that comes most readily to mind is dragon. Could it be that these jungles are home to such fabulous creatures? We keep watching day and night in case the beast returns, but so far there has been nothing. Please send my regards to your father and assure him that his future son-in-law is in excellent Edelweiss, in the banana pudding state of health. With the deepest affection, Edward. P.S. I was delighted to hear that cousin Kurt has come to stay for a few weeks. He is a good fellow and quite charming. As I recall, I am sure he will prove to be excellent company for you, my dearest, whilst I am away. Okay. There it is. It's about the size of a cat, looks like. Okay. And it's in Africa. Okay. Lieberman failed to name his discovery, but from the sketch he made at the time, the creature can be identified as Livingstone's demon. This name was given to the beast in 1871 by Stanley Morton in honor of his brother-in-law, Dizzy Livingstone, the inventor of the pop-up toaster. Plate 9. Livingstone's demon, often mistakenly referred to as Lieberman's demon. The most primitive of beasties dwells deep in the dungeon of the Congo, subsisting on a diet of berries, small birds, mammals, and the occasional pith-helmeted explorer. And here we go. We're going to look at this. There they are, hacking through the forest. They're looking for a post box. The guy goes insane. And that's it. Okay. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but that's okay. Okay, it says here. Mwanza. Okay, I guess that's what the other word was. Mwanza, Africa, 2nd of February, 1849. My dearest Purnell, you must have been exceedingly disappointed when I was not home for Christmas. As I said I would be. I'm so pleased that Cousin Kurt took you away for a few days to cheer you up. Sorry, I am still having a little trouble with this new contraption of mine, although I rather think I may be onto something if I can just get it to work properly. I'm thinking of calling it the Lieberman technical type indention apparatus. Do you think it might catch on? We have finally made it through to the shores of Lake Victoria, but at a terrible price. Gruber's constitution has recently gotten worse. We had planned to leave him with the local tribespeople for our own sakes, but they gracefully declined to accommodate him. Meanwhile, it is up to Klausman and myself to carry on as best as we can. We should reach the coast by the middle of the year. I promise we will be together again, my dearest, beloved. Before Oktoberfest, and married immediately thereafter. I've not heard back from Darwin. Perhaps he has been in contact with you. I felt sure he would have responded by now. There has been a notable scarcity of African frilled frogs, and I'm afraid, though, I do have an exciting discovery to report. Another dragon, my dearest. I was going down to the waterhole to make sure Gruber was all right, for he had been gone some time. When I first saw it, a sudden streak of bluish-gray, followed by a splash, I assumed it was a large kingfisher or of some sort. But when it returned to the surface, I realized it was no bird that ever lived could be mistaken for this fiendish creation. It was like a vast bat, though with thick fur-covered tail and a massive beak. A prominent fan-shaped frill on the back of the neck gave the creature an alarming similarity to your father. Forgive me, my dearest. 'Tis the illness. I can feel it descending again like some dark apocalyptic cloud. 15th of February. Feeling much better now. Klausman has put me on some tablets that seem to be Niple. Gniplea. Oh, helping. It's spelled backwards. No, all this is backwards. We leave Mwanza tomorrow and continue eastward towards distant Mamasa. I shall write again when we arrive. Love my... all my love. You see, you gotta see this, because it's written completely backwards. See, I can read backwards just fine. Edward. Anyways, the dragon referred to clearly is the Crested Dipper, by the editor. Crested Dipper. The Crested Dipper's distinctive fan-shaped frill is used to slow its dive when fishing in shallow water. The sudden shock of cold water causes the frill to spread out, slowing the rate of descent and thus preventing the dragon from knocking itself senseless on the riverbed. There it is, trying to eat fish, catch fish, and it is apparently about the size of a dog. Okay, and then we're just going to quickly do this. That one didn't take quite as long to read. I'm happy about that. We're going to just look at these pictures down here. I'm sorry they're a little bit blurry. They were trying to leave the guy with the tribesmen, but they turned them down. Probably a good call. Okay, now. Oh, wow. This looks like a warthog, kind of. Okay, now. Madagascar. Oh, maybe it's supposed to be M, but it's just upside down. Madagascar. 9th of November, 1856. My dearest Prunella, Klausman has changed my medication, and you will be relieved to hear I am now well on my way to a complete recovery. I was so sorry that I could not be home in time for Oktoberfest again, but heartened to hear that you had such a wonderful time regardless. Out here in the wilds of Africa, it does one good to think of the happy, carefree times loved ones are having back in Munich. Ah, that is supposed to be an M. When exactly is Cousin Kurt heading back to Grindelwald? Grindelwald? Isn't that a Harry Potter reference? I don't know. Grindewald? I think that's a real place. My work on continental divergence is coming along well, despite a total absence of African frilled frogs upon which to base my research. However, Now that I have reached Madagascar, I hope my luck will change. Finding a frilled frog here will still be a vital stepping stone to proving that the African landmass and Van Diemen's Land, or Tasmania, as Classman tells me it is now called, what were once part of a great antediluvian continent. I know you will find it hard to believe, my dearest, but I have discovered a third dragon. It is a huge, ungainly creature, well known to the indigenous people here in Madagascar, but never before seen by Europeans. The local name, the Ayunga de Combo, which roughly translates as the awful gurgler. I, however, have given it a more respectable title, the common green Draak. Draak is a word I have made up in imitation of the noise the creature makes when it has caught its prey. Draak, Draak, can you hear it? My dearest Draak, you know, I think I might have another chat with Classman about these tablets. After every meal, the beast embarks upon a protracted period of astonishing noisy digestion, which gives the dragon its curious local name. The sound is truly grotesque. I think even Gruber would have been impressed. We left Gruber behind in Mombasa. Poor chap. The ship's captain refused point blank to carry him. Why has Darwin still not responded to the communications regarding my discoveries? Can it be he doubts my veracity, or is it possible he does not take me seriously? At least I know you will always be there, my dearest, supporting me in my work despite the great distance that lies between us. With tenderest thoughts, and then Edward. Okay, let's see. Since Lieberman's first coined the term Draak, it has become a word used to describe several tropical dragons with raucous calls, most notably the spotted marsh Draak of southwestern Tasmania and the yellow Draak of Peru. One of the few tropical dragons not discovered by Lieberman, although I understand that the discoverer, Wolfie Rathensbaum, was in fact a distant cousin of Lieberman's stepmother. That was by the editor. Common green Draak, notable for its unattractive appearance and offensive smell. The common green Draak is a creature best left to its own devices. The ungainly stance of the beast belies an ability to move extremely rapidly in order to catch anything, even remotely edible, that strays too close to its lair. Okay. And it's bigger than an elephant, so it probably eats a lot. Oh, and then there's an oryx. Oh, and there's the giraffe. Oh, wow, it's like a zoo out there. Okay. Oktoberfest. Because I basically know what's going to happen. He's basically going to lose the girl anyways to his cousin, so it's like, okay. And I think this is the last one in this chapter. Yeah, it is. Okay, I just wanted to check and make sure. These look a little bit creepy, but okay, that's cool. Some dragons are creepy. It's got weird eyes, which is cool. I'd call it the weird eye dragon, but anyways, here we go. Please hold just a sec. There we go. I had to change my position. I was sitting Indian style and my legs were going to sleep, and that was not pleasant at all. Okay, it says Southwest Tasmania, 11th of August, 1864. Dear Prunella, I am the recipient. I am in receipt of your letter of 14th June. I do realize we have been apart for some time. 17 years is indeed a considerable period. I agree, but I confess I did not expect this turn of events. Of course, I do hope you and Cousin Kurt will be very happy together. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. It does not look as though I will be back in time for the wedding. However, I would like to take this opportunity to extend to you both my best wishes for the future. I hope you will be very happy together, as I think I have said. Naturally, I realize that you will be wanting to turn your attention to matters matrimonial, but If I may ask your indulgence for just a moment longer, I thought you might be interested to know that my work on continental divergence has taken an unexpected turn. I arrived in Tasmania some time ago. Klausman did not accompany me, having decided to return home and resume his career in horse husbandry. Strangely, I feel quite well. Despite the lack of medical care. Although there was numerous species of frog here, it eventuates that none has the particular characteristics that would mark it as a relative of the African frilled frog, and thus confirm my theory. I was on the point of despair when I made another discovery. I'm calling it the spotted marsh beak. No, the spotted marsh drac. And it has turned my frog theory on its head. The new dragon, I have captured one for closer study, is a most bizarre creature. It has wings, but it's flightless. It is cold-blooded, yet covered with hair, and it possesses huge eyes, but is almost totally blind. Most importantly, however, the beast is clearly a drac, for its call is almost identical to that of the common green drac of Madagascar. Do you see what this means? It is the vital link I have been looking for all these years. Not frogs, but dragons. Darwin is sure to be impressed by this. Even as I write, I can hear the beast calling for more food, for its appetite is prodigious and apparently insatiable. Now, did I remember to secure the cage door after its last feed? I'd better just go and check. Back in a moment. And that's where the letter ends, meaning he got eaten by a dragon. Okay, this letter was never sent. A geographical survey team discovered it many years later amongst the deserted remains of Lieberman's last camp. Editor. Spotted marsh drac. This most bizarre member of the drac family is found only in Tasmania. Once plentiful across the southern half of the island, it is now teetering on the verge of extinction. The last confirmed sighting being 6th of April, 1890. Okay. It is about the size of a kangaroo, okay. And it certainly looks weird. Here's a close-up of its face. Covered in hair. Okay. This is his camp. Then basically he gets eaten. Long story short. And that will do it for Tropical Dragons. We are to New World Dragons. The final chapter, and probably the final episode, is the next one. We'll be reading the letters of Francisco de Nuevo. And I know that New Frank, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, this has been a reading from The Discovery of Dragons. New research revealed by Graeme, a.k.a. Rowland W. Greasebeam, BSc. And if you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. And if you want to support me in any ways, the information will be in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.